Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and this video is going to be my thoughts on TJ Dillashaw opening up with Chael Sonnen in the interview he did talking about EPO use and all that. So before I get into that really quick, I'm just going to give a little background and context to it because it's interesting because I was I kind of like almost got to see shit play out. You know what I mean? So I'll explain. A lot of you guys know that a couple days ago I got to meet TJ along with a whole bunch of other fighters, man. Dominic Cruz, Chael, Lyoto, Neiman Gracie, Rory McDonald, all them. So, and I got to be there and I got to chop it up with them. So basically when I found out TJ was there, this was the Bellator 222 media day event, the press day. So it was media only in there. So I was just all up in that bitch, just like soaking it in. Like, this shit's super dope. They had mad good food there. They fucking had salmon and shit like that. So I was like, all right, this is what's up. I'm just fucking eating salmon right now at Madison Square Garden, about to just chop it up with all these legends and people I look up to. So literally, Darian Caldwell was on the stage. So he plays around and says, like, oh, someone got a question. Dominic Cruz asked him a question. I go over to Dom, chop it up with Dom. And then I was just like, and then I come back and I was talking to some other a journalist I met there, and I was talking to them, and then they were saying, and then they're like, I told them after I went and met Dom, I was like, yo, Dominic Cruz is there, and they're like, oh, what? So they went over, they talked, they're like, oh, hey, can I get a picture or whatever? I just went to say hi, and they came back, and then at this time, like Chael was about to come because I was about to talk to Chael. So then before that, like after they come back from seeing Dom, they're just like, yo, TJ's here. I'm like, they can't be talking Dillashaw. And they're like, bro, TJ's here. I'm like, Dillashaw's here? And then he's like, yeah, dude, TJ's here. I'm like, where? And then like they're like over there, and I just like turn around, and Juan Archuleta is sitting by like where he's supposed to be, and then TJ's with him. And I was like, oh shit. And then I was about to go over, but like there's like he was talking to a bunch of people, so I'm not just gonna be like standing there or whatever like that. So then I was just doing my thing. I was just going around talking to everyone. And then I went over, and then I saw TJ, and then I was like, oh, TJ, what's good, bro? And I was just like talking to TJ for a little bit. I got a picture with him, and honestly, like I was super surprised that TJ was there. And even in the Chael interview, he was like, yeah, man, it was like a big deal for me to be there and show my face. And I'm inserting my experience because that's where Chael saw TJ, and that's where Chael was like, oh, TJ, I didn't know you're here. Like, you're showing your face. Like, let's do some interviews. And Chael said he wasn't going to bring it up, but TJ brought it up himself. And honestly, like, on some real shit, I just really wanted to, like, I just wanted to be like, bro, like, what's good? Like, just tell me, like, so are you going to, I just really wanted to ask some real ass questions. But at the end of the day, like I rock with Bellator, they rock with me. And if you're like in that position, like it's a privilege to be there. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to just break down or break some unspoken rule because I am curious. But I would have fucking loved to do that, dude. But so yeah, so that's how like Chael and TJ saw each other for this interview to come to fruition. And all right, so all right, if you hear any click clacking, that's my little puppy running around playing. So boom, TJ says, all right, man, not to make any excuses, but yeah, I was going to say stuff earlier. I don't want to make any excuses, but I cheated. And yeah, so essentially what he's saying is that he only used EPO for the Henry Cejudo fight. And I'm going to keep it 100% honest. Like, honestly, like when I was chopping it up with TJ, he was cool to me and everything like that. But this isn't like anything personal. But like, I truly don't believe. I mean, we can't go anything off of anything but facts. But I really refuse to believe I'm going off of facts, dude. And the fact of the matter is that Cody Garbrandt called it out by EPO way back then, and the way he said it, I even said back then that it seemed super genuine the way Cody said it. And it's like one of that shit that like you have some shit on someone, like, but like you want to like, it'll be like, oh, you know what, you're a fucking scumbag, remember when we robbed that person together? And you just like snitch on yourself, trying to like snitch on that person. That's what Cody pretty much did with saying, "Oh, you taught everyone at Alpha Male how to do it, EPO, da 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 da." And then, no, but like, and if you go back to the press conference where Cody was saying, "Oh, you can't condition your chin and all that," and then he was talking about, "Oh yeah, TJ taught everyone on Alpha Male how to do it," and he was like EPO, and then later in tweets, Cody was calling it when they're supposed to fight in the rematch in February or something like that, or somewhere along that timeline during the height of the Cody TJ beef. Cody was like, "Yeah, nah, like you're tripping, you got your facts wrong," something like that. But it must be all that EPO going to your head. And then you pop for EPO, you know what I mean? And for the half-life for it to be so short, and the fact that USADA doesn't test for EPO usually, it's fucking crazy, because you're like, all right, UFC's paying so much money to them, and they're like, "Oh, this is the most aggressive form of drug testing that we have." But the fact of the matter is, you're not testing for everything when you're paying money that should be testing for everything. Oh, it's expensive. Well, bro, you got this multi-$100 million contract. That's on you. But the fact that they're trying to cut corners to save money to maximize profit should really show you all we need to know about USADA. But anyway, so for the fact that, so back to what TJ was saying. TJ was saying to Chael that, it was just the Henry fight. You know, I was cutting down in 25s, as he says, and he was like, from 35s to 25s. So I was testing my hematocrit levels. And basically what your hematocrit levels is your levels of red blood cells. So, and he was saying that, when I was cutting down, my levels were dropping super low, like in the 30s. I was about to be anemic. And what anemia is it could be caused by our iron deficiency, but what it is pretty much is you have low red blood cell counts, right? So that is directly, and he was saying like, and then I took Procreate, which the active ingredient in it is Epogen, EPO, and the fact is that I only did it because I had a disease pretty much. I was getting anemic, and I needed to compensate and bring my levels back to normal, back to what it would usually be to compete and be just regular in the Henry fight. But I have 2 points to that, because, all right, so before I go on and address that, I have to say that I do respect the fact that TJ like showed up in public with media, showed his face, and you know, it was like Dom was there too, so like that shit was like that shit was fucking crazy, because you kind of felt like that bit of tension where like they know they're there but they're not gonna address each other kind of shit. Like there's like that tension, but like professionalism too, you know, they're not just gonna start shit because what do they really have to say to each other? And but TJ, man, like I could tell that like TJ looked really uncomfortable, you know what I mean? He looked self-conscious, he looked like he was going through it, man. Like he was depressed. I'm not saying like I feel bad or anything like that, but you could tell he's wearing it, you know what I mean? And he just like the whole energy, like even when we were talking, it was just kind of like, yeah, like, you know when someone kind of gets like, something happens to them and they get humbled, it was kind of like that, and they're like still processing it. It was like that. And the fact that he was out there, he showed his face, and like I don't think like the media wasn't going to bring it up, the other people weren't going to bring it up, nobody brought it up. So for him to, even with Chael wasn't going to bring it up, versus for him to go and address it, I feel like he said, it would be the elephant in the room. But the fact that he's taking this route of just like owning up to it and not just being like, oh, I have no idea how it got there, I could respect that. But to another thing, I feel like the best way to construct a lie is to manipulate the truth. You know, if you're gonna lie about something, it's not gonna be that great if you just make something up from scratch. But if you take elements of the truth and just manipulate it and twist it, that's the most believable lie. Which I do feel that's what TJ's doing here, because the fact that but the fact is we don't know, and I rock with TJ, not like because he was nice to me, you know what I mean, and like I was a fan of like his shit, like, you know what I mean, like he's a good martial artist, but at the end of the day, I'm going to keep my opinion real and keep it real as a fan. and shit I've always been saying, you know what I mean? It was kind of always sketch, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of always that thing where you kind of thought, you know what I mean? And then the rumbling started saying, and then like it happens, you know, almost where there's smoke, there's fire. So the fact that I don't know, just the fact that Cody and Alpha Male and all of them were saying that, and it kind of proved to be true. And you know, EPO is one of those things where you have to really be tuned into all your levels and stuff like that, and really be monitoring it. And the fact that I'm not throwing anything, I'm just saying, I'm not throwing any allegations, I'm saying the optics, man. When you're bragging about how your strength and conditioning coach Sam Calvita is so on point and tuned into all the levels on these microscopic metrics that would play into you know, monitoring and using EPO, and the fact that, I mean, like, think about it, dude. If you're in USADA and you're beating USADA and you're world champion, and you're gonna be bragging about your shit too. That's just kind of the optics of it. That's just how it looks to me. And the fact is that when you're talking about your hematocrit levels being so low and you're taking it up, there's two things. Listen, one, that's not your natural fighting weight class. You're trying to drop to like a super low weight class and your body's telling you can't do it. You're literally turning anemic because of it, according to you. So the fact of the matter is, that's just a weight class you can't compete at. That's just number one. You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, if you're already in the USADA era, if you're already, you know, if you're already going, like, you've been clean this whole time. You've been clean before USADA. You've been clean during USADA. And then you want to drop down to a weight class when you already know how dangerous weight cutting is. And you see it taking a toll on your body to a point where you're getting getting a fucking disease because of it, and be getting sick because of it, that you can't compete there. The fact of the matter is, it's just like, you can't, that's not something you should be, right? Another thing, if you know what, you're like, whatever, this is what I want to do, but this is fucking me up, I'm gonna talk to the UFC about it. Go to the UFC doctors. There are things as therapeutic use exemptions, TUEs, where if you medically could be proven that you need it, you could take shit, you know, as long as the doctor prescribes it and USADA approves it. So the thing is, why didn't you apply for a TUE or go for a TUE or go that route with it, instead of just taking such a big risk when you're already world champion, a 2-time world champion, and especially when you know how stringent and strict the drug testing is, and then and if you go to the doctors, I feel like the doctors are just gonna be like, bro, you just can't fight at 25s, as you like to say. So it's like, but then, all right, so, and then saying, like, say you knew the doctors would say that, so you decided to take this and do that, and take Procrit, and then pretty much be doing EPO. And the thing is, like, why was Cody so specific and on point with it, and so adamant that he said it multiple times? He wasn't saying like, oh, you're roiding up, oh, like, this dude's doing tests, or he's on the juice, he's probably on Tren or whatever. Nah, he was like, nah, it's EPO. Must be all that EPO going in your head. He literally said that. And I just feel like, I don't know for how long. I'm not going to say, oh, he was from this point, he's always been da-da-da-da-da. But just, I feel like since he's opening up about it and talking about it and being like, hey, I cheated, I know he's trying to maintain a legacy. He's trying to, like, USADA, I feel like with the whole USADA B sample thing, they didn't really keep or store the B samples that well. So they're just saying it's clean. I feel like USADA is trying to cover their ass, because people started coming for USADA when you're like, wait, you don't test for EPO? So I feel like they're, oh, no, the B samples, we tested it. They're all good. So I feel like it's kind of like, oh, no, he's good. Just that one time. All right, it's just matter. All right, let it go. That, like, USADA trying to brush it because it's due to their negligence. You know what I mean? So I respect that he's coming with I'm gonna keep it real approach, but I truly, and I don't know, this is just my opinion and I could be wrong. I just kind of feel like he was just kind of owning up to what he got caught for, which he had to. And, you know, that's all it's going to be. And he's just like, you know what, I got popped for EPO in January against Henry. And that was the only time I ever took it during that camp, because he got popped for it twice during that camp. So, like, when they went back and retroactively tested the sample. So he's like, you know, I only did it in the build-up for the Henry fight because me trying to go on a journey to greatness started taking a physical toll, creating a sickness in my body. So I use this more as a therapeutic medication to supplement me back to normal than anything. That's his whole spin on it. And I truly just feel like I would have respected him more if he's like, oh, listen, man, I was in the Wild West days. I knew a bunch of people were doing it back then. And then I was doing some shit too. And then you kind of get it as a crutch. And then you start beating the test and da-da-da-da. I would have rather have him just be more open and upfront. Be like, listen, man, like, I know that I was doing that for whatever reason, but that doesn't take away that I'm the best in the world and I'm going to prove that. You know what I mean? If he took that approach, like, listen, I don't care what people, he was like saying, like, I don't care if people are going to talk stuff about my legacy and stuff like that. But I feel like, yeah, whatever, I just have to deal with it because I caused it all myself, instead of being like, I feel like it was really just taking the truth and kind of manipulating it and spinning it a little bit. So I feel like it's more damage control and PR than anything. You know what I mean? Listen, man, like, TJ was nice to me and everything like that. He's a good martial artist. Like, like I was saying, like, it takes the artistry and the cognitive process and the thoughts and the creativity to come up with this style and do it the way he does it. But another thing, man, like, EPO will help you fuel that style more, and, you know, it'll supplement the effectiveness and the the dangerousness of the style. So I mean, you know, steroids don't make you, like, you can't just, like, shoot tests and you just get muscles. You got to put in the work and build muscle the right way and stuff like that. But yeah, I just feel like I would have respected it. I would have respected him more if he was just, like, super upfront. But then at the end of the day, I respect it because I don't know what's the truth. I just could go off what I feel is me speculating and assuming and kind of putting stuff together that's been out there, and that's really it. And yeah, it's just perception wise, you know, everyone's got to come to their own opinion. And I don't know if I fully believe that the perception of reality that TJ's putting out there that I'm gonna accept as reality. But I do respect the way he went there and the way the whole just you fucked up, you showed your face and you talked about it. All right, Duchess, calm down. All right, guys. Yeah, but anyway, I was wrapping up with the video. Duchess was saying what's up, and you already know it's Mastermind MMA. I'll be having a bunch more videos coming up, and yeah, you already know it's Mastermind MMA.